What's up, folks? Keith Mitchell here, editor-in-chief of the Outerhaven Productions, and as I mentioned on my last video, I'm going to try and do these short video bursts talking about video game news, updates, and things in the video game industry scene that I want to talk about, that are bothering me, or that I think are very interesting. So that said, and I hate to talk about this subject because I know a lot of people are going to say that I'm being negative, but that's not my point. This is to express my frustration about the entire situation. So back in 2015, there was a joint effort between Sega, Usenet, and basically some part of Sony to help bring out the third chapter of the Shenmue series. You know, I played this game back on the Xbox, I played it on the Sega consoles, and I was like, hell yeah, I want to play this game again. So yes, I went to Shenmue 3. So I dropped down the $100. Don't tell the wife, she'll find out, she'll kill me. She hates when I drop big money on Kickstarter games. And I waited and I waited for this game to come out. It missed its release dates twice so far, right? It's supposed to be released in 2017, then 2018, and now it's finally coming out this year, hopefully, if it doesn't get delayed again. And I was content with that. You know, masterpieces take a while to work on. I'm a big advocate of, if a game is going to be delayed because you want to put more polish into it, more power to you. I'd rather you release a game in a finished state or more polished state than give us a game that is pretty much, oh, we need to give you an update here and you give you an update there, and it gets reviewed and it gets reviewed terribly and people get frustrated and then it just goes to hell. So I would much rather you take your time and give us a great game. So I was happy with that. So a couple days ago, E3 2019, we figured we were going to hear some news about Shenmue 3 during the PC Gamer Show, which was sponsored by Epic Games. Now, I know going into this show, a lot of people, a lot of PC gamers were like, this is going to be pretty much an advertisement for Epic Games to say, hey, we got exclusivity on this game, this game, this game, that game, and maybe we'll hear a couple things about games that are coming out on other platforms. And to be honest, that's exactly what happened. Most of the games announced were going directly to the Epic Games Store. There were a few games that were announced for Steam, and that was that. However, something happened, and we got some information on Shenmue 3, and towards the end of that, it was a trailer, and at the end of the trailer, it showed PlayStation 4, and it showed the Epic Games Store logo. And right there, I was like, oh crap. What does this mean? Does this mean this game is not coming out on Steam anymore? And the first thing I did was, outside of talking to the staff at Outerhaven, because we were all watching this, was I emailed my contact at Sega, who's not gotten back to me yet, not that it makes a difference, and I started scouring the internet. People on Twitter, people on Reddit, people on big internet forums. It's reset error or resetter error, whatever we're gonna call it. Everybody was saying the same thing. Oh my God, is this game being moved to the Epic Games Store instead of Steam? So we kept looking into it, and eventually it was stated by the Kickstarter campaign that yes, this game, we're happy to announce that we're moving this game to Epic Games Store because it's the best place for gamers on the PC platform. Basically, it's what they said to us. They were happy to let us know that they were doing this, and this really upset me. It upset pretty much everybody who helped fund this game, helped back this game, I should say, because okay, when this game was announced, the Epic Games Store didn't exist. And I know a lot of people on the internet are like, why are you so mad it's coming to Epic Games Store instead of Steam? And I'll get to that in a minute. That's not the main point right now. My problem is we help fund the game with certain promises that are supposed to be kept. Okay, so when this game was kickstarted, there was no bigger store out there than Steam. So it was a shoo-in, it was going to Steam. It wasn't an EA game, so it wasn't going to Origin. It wasn't a Bethesda game, it wasn't going to Bethesda's store. It wasn't a game from Ubisoft, so it wasn't going to Ubisoft store. So obviously it was going to Steam. It was the obvious platform. And eventually, right before Epic Games, or right before the E3 show, we were sent out surveys, not right before, but before that, asking us, how do you want this? And Steam key was one of the options. So we're like, yeah, we want a Steam key. So, and it was even on Steam. The game was on for a wish list on Steam. And I'm pretty sure it probably still is there right now. But the thing was, the backers were blindsided by this. I'm pretty sure Usenet was blindsided by this. And a lot of us were already assuming this was going to happen, because if you remember what happened with Metro Exodus, they did the same thing. Right before the game was announced, they was like, oh, hey, by the way, this game is no longer coming to Steam. The only way you're going to be able to play Metro Exodus on Steam is if you already pre-ordered it. Then you're fine. But if you didn't pre-order it by a certain date, you were cut off. You had to play it on the Epic Game Store. Okay, that really sucked. That bummed out a lot of people. And unfortunately, it led to poor sales for that game. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because they basically said, hey, Metro Exodus is so better than this version of Metro on Steam. But what they didn't tell you, it was an older version. It was a remaster of Metro Exodus or Last Light that everybody that's already played. So it didn't make a difference. And I agree. If I already had played Metro Last Light, why did I want to remaster when it really didn't add anything other than a couple improvements and a couple of performance improvements? I didn't care about that game. I already played it. I beat it years before that. I'm not going to play it again. So for them to go back and say, oh, hey, this game's so better than this game, was kind of shady tactics. But in the end, Metro Exodus didn't sell very well on Epic Game Store, which is why it's now coming to the Windows Store. But right now, it's in Xbox Game Pass for PC, and it will be coming to Steam next year. So that's neither here nor there. But the big issue is, I felt lied to. You know, I backed this game, and then I was asked where I wanted, and obviously it was for Steam. So when they came back and said, we're happy to announce that we're moving this from Steam to the Epic Game Store, I was frustrated, because as somebody who helped back your game, you didn't ask me. You didn't send a survey saying, would you like us to do this? You didn't say anything. You basically let Deep Silver screw everybody around, because Epic Games has their hands in Deep Silver pocket. I'm really frustrated, so I'm trying to keep it mellow here. So basically, Deep Silver had their hand, or Epic Games had their hands in Deep Silver's pockets, and in the end, everybody who wanted the game on Steam basically is suffering. And right now, what's happening is a lot of people have been going back to Kickstarter saying, we want a refund, we want a refund, we want a refund, we want a refund. And what had happened is Deep Silver came back and said, we're not offering any refunds. Now, I know a couple people did credit card chargebacks, because technically they did lie. There is a breach of contract. I'm not a lawyer, but if we're supposed to get it for one platform, you come back and pull the old switcheroo and tell us, no, it's not coming up for that, it's coming up for this. And you're like, all right, fine, give me my money back. I mean, fair play is give them their money back. But again, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't say anything about that. So a couple days after that, Yeeznet, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing the name incorrectly, came out and said, you know, we are watching the situation. We understand people are frustrated. Actually, you know what? Let me pull that up. Let me pull up the message here. And I actually had it in front of me, but I was so damn frustrated, I just closed it out. Here we go. So during E3, right after this, they came back and said, hey, we understand. We want to make sure that the backers are aware that we're listening to their concerns. We kindly ask all our fans to have some patience. We're currently at E3 demoing the game and need to give back our respective officers time to assess the situation and together find a way forward to justify the trust you placed in us. There is none. The trust is gone. You told us one thing, you pulled the switcheroo and went elsewhere. On an unrelated note, I'm kind of frustrated that the people at E3 got to demo this game before we did, when we helped pay for this game. We helped fund this game. We helped this game get off into development stages. But for people to go to E3 and play it, for people to like to go to PAX West and play it before us, it's really, really frustrating. I have no disrespect, no frustration, no kind of hatred or animosity to the people that are going to play the game or have played the game, because it's not their fault. It is the fault of the publisher. I would say developer, but that's not fair. So it's the publisher. It's all Deep Silver and Epic Games. People that funded this game should have gotten some kind of demo, some kind of, hey, we appreciate your time, we appreciate your money, we appreciate your patience. Here's something to tide you over. But they did none of that. So they pretty much did strike one and strike two. So the question remains, what exactly are they going to do to win back the trust of people who gave them money? As for me, I mean, I'm trying to be very optimistic about this all, but at the same time, I don't like being lied to. I don't like that you took my money. I don't like that you've been blowing smoke up our butts. And when we ask for our money back, you tell us pretty much no. The only reason they even told us at the very end that, hey, they're looking at the situation is because the sheer amount of people that have complained. You've got multiple gaming websites, including our own. We've got people on Twitter, people on Reddit that are exposing them. And it's kind of like, oh, we're only saying sorry because we got caught. Had people not made such a big issue over this, do you think they would have came back and said, hey, we're addressing the issue? I don't really think they would have. At the same time, you know, I've said this time and time again, I did have an issue with Epic Games Store in the very beginning. And yeah, there are a lot of issues with the storefront. You know, regional pricing is still an issue. It's going into effect, but not everywhere that it should be. There are no cloud saves. There's no shopping cart. The storefront lacks a lot of functionality. I could go on. I'm not going to. You can search this stuff. People have readily made tons of posts comparing Steam and comparing Epic Games Store. And I'm not going to go into that. I will say this. I am a gamer. I am a PC gamer. I am a console gamer. I like to play games. If there is a game on the Epic Games Store that I want to play, I'm going to go buy it. It's as simple as that. I don't have a problem per se with the store. My problem is with the business practices of Epic Games, a company that I grew up with, a company that I loved, Unreal Tournament 2003, Unreal Tournament. I played all the Unreals, all the Gears of War, the Commander Keens, all their games. And then it's like, I hate to say it, they lost their soul. They lost their soul. I don't want to say they lost their way, but Fortnite came out and it was all about the money, which I get it. Businesses are about money, but it feels like they got corrupted. Even Tim Sweeney, I don't remember him being the douchebag that he's being right now. I remember him as a respectable person who didn't like the way Microsoft was handling the gaming scene. They kept saying that Microsoft was controlling things, and yet we're now at this stage where he's being very hypocritical. He's saying things that are really off the wall. He's bashing Linux users. He's doing really odd things, and it's like, dude, this was not you, and now you're acting this way. You're saying really weird comments on Twitter, and you're being very sarcastic, and it's like, where did this come from? This is not the man that I remember. This is not the Epic Games that I remember. And it's funny because it feels like they're just trying to provoke Valve. They're trying to poke, you know, like Steam is this lion. They're sitting there poking it, waiting to see what the lion's gonna do. And the lion's is like, I ain't got no time to mess with you, man. I'm busy chowing down on a steak or something. But that's what it seems like they're doing. When you look at these two companies, you look at Valve and you look at Epic Games, and Valve, a lot of people may or may not remember, but Valve had a lot of bangers. Half-Life, you know, they had Team Fortress, they had Team Fortress 2, Dota. I mean, the legacy that Valve has. I mean, yes, they haven't been developing games in quite some time. Portal 1 and 2. There you go, another one. They haven't been developing games in quite some time, and we likely will never ever see Half-Life 3. And if they do, it'll be when a lot of us are dead and gone. I hope not. I really hope not. But you get what I'm saying here. Steam, Valve is no little kid sitting on the corner. They are a juggernaut in their own right. And I'm surprised that Gabe and company haven't just said, you know what, it's all at war. We're done. We're really done with Epic Games. We're gonna shed our skin. We're gonna metamorph. We're gonna turn into this behemoth and just devour them. I mean, I get it. I get what they're doing. They're like, we have nothing to prove. We've been around the block. This is where we are. We've got VR. We're dealing with VR now because there are new headsets coming out. People have been playing with it. They just got their hands in so many things. I understand where they're coming from. Steam is still the de facto gaming store when you look at PC gaming. Why do you think Microsoft is moving their games over to Steam? Because when people buy games, they buy them majority on Steam. Unless it's a first party game, like something from EA, something from Ubisoft, something from Bethesda, which they're also moving their games to Steam. Because remember, after a while, they're like, we're only going to have games on our Bethesda launcher. Then Doom Eternal was supposed to be one of those games. Now Doom Eternal is coming to Steam. You know, new Wolfenstein is coming to Steam. So Bethesda is not stupid. They see that, hey, gamers are going to throw a fit. They're going to buy their games on Steam. They're going to call it a day. I don't know what the hell Epic Games was thinking. I really wish they would go back to the company that I love, the company that I respected. I don't think that's going to happen, and I really don't want to see any more of these these backroom deals to keep happening. But you know, Tim Sweeney said, hey, if Steam will start doing this, then we'll stop doing this. And it's kind of a sideways ultimatum that should have never happened, because what you're doing in the long run is hurting you. You're paying people, you're money hatting people, companies, to give you access to games, exclusive games that may stay in your store or they may go elsewhere. I mean, again, look at Metro Exodus. Yes, it's not coming out on Steam for another, was it 6 months to a year? I don't remember, but it's on the Windows Store right now. It's on Xbox Game Pass right now. I could play it right now. You're losing out that money. You're losing out that $50 or whatever it is for that game. And people can play it for $10. Some people can play it for $1 for a couple months because of Game Pass on PC. So you really lost out there. Those sales are going to go to the Windows Store. And they're going to sell, even though people hate the Windows Store, they hate Epic Game Store more. And because Xbox Game Pass came out and has changed the way people think about PC gaming on Windows, because that storefront, that application is a godsend. Expect to see more games being sold on there. As for Epic Games, again, I have no issues outside of the missing features on Epic Games Store. My concern is with the practices of Epic Games themselves. And I really hope that they stop what they're doing. I really hope they think about what they're doing and what kind of effect it's having on the gaming PC or the PC gaming industry or the PC gaming scene. Because people are going to get to the point where they're going to say, you know what, we don't like anything about you. They're going to start voting with their wallets and they're going to see a hit. Yes, they got that Fortnite money, but as we all seen, Team Fortress 2 was just like Fortnite. It was played everywhere. People loved it. People couldn't get enough of it. And then the next big thing came, and sure, Team Fortress 2 is a big game. It's not the game it was when people couldn't stop playing it nonstop. And Fortnite 2 is like Team Fortress 2. It will have a day where people are going to move to another game. It's that simple. I would say it's happening now, but you know, it's not a mass exodus. People are slowly but surely migrating away to other games. Sure, it's not Apex Legends, but there's enough games out there. And you know, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what's going to happen. I can only see the trends. I can only look at the comments and the concerns on Twitter, on Reddit, and other places. But then again, you know, worse things have happened, right? I mean, things have done really big things. Like, we thought Apex Legends was going to be the game that killed Team Fortress 2 and to kill Dota and to kill, you know, to kill Fortnite. But it didn't happen. Those games are still doing pretty good as come forward as streaming. Those are still big games that people are streaming. So, you never know what's going to happen with that. But that said, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the whole Shenmue 2, the Shenmue 3 situation, because it does kind of have me frustrated, a little upset. And I've kept talking about it, talking to people on Twitter and other forums, and they're going back saying the same thing. I don't know why you're upset about this. They never said it was going to Steam in the first place. I'm showing them my freaking email and it says Steam key. It said the damn Steam key. Oh, it doesn't mean anything. It's like, I'm showing you the proof and you don't believe me. So I've said my piece. As always, I welcome your comments. I welcome your feedback. Thank you for watching the video. And as always, I love the feedback. I've got some good feedback from the last video. I'm going to put those in effect for this video and going forward. And as always, if there's something that you want me to talk about, or maybe you want to come on and talk with me, definitely check it out. But always, guys, the Outerhaven Productions, the Outerhaven.net, Spectator Mode, which is also where this is going, because it is our gaming podcast devoted towards gaming. This is just a small slice that I'm going to put on YouTube and also in a podcast format, so you can check it out. Either way, it's up to you. And maybe like this, that'd be awesome. Like this and subscribe to a channel, help us grow. And that's it. This is Keith from the Outerhaven. Thanks for watching and be safe out there. Game on.